podcast for Fife fans, music artists, and creatives alike. Hey, what's up guys? Before we start the show, just wanted to give a huge shout out to our sponsors, Natural Selection, a brand that's not just about clothing, but a lifestyle. I'm thrilled to introduce the trendsetters of Coachella Valley streetwear, Natural Selection. Natural Selection is all about quality and uniqueness. Their designs are a fusion of street culture and the vibrant energy of the Coachella Valley. All right, so GreenSkull podcast. I am your host, MCKG, aka DJ GreenSkull, and today we got the homie Diovicious. What's good?
What's up? It feels good to be here.
How did you get your name exactly?
That's a very good question. So, actually, everybody likes to butcher it all the time. It happens because, you know, it's not a... And it's actually... I got it right here on my hat, if you can see it. But... So it actually came when I moved out of the house. I got these roommates, and we all got this big, like, 2-bedroom apartment, like, up high, like, 3 stories in Santa Monica. And we all worked at the movie theater. And basically, we used to call it Mount Olympus. This whole collective of roommates, we all gave each other Greek god names. So like the oldest guy in the house was Zeus. Really cool black guy, older, like he used to spit knowledge to us all the time, like, hey, like back in my day we wouldn't do this shit, like you guys are just a bunch of little punks. And like the other person in the room was Aries. We called him Aries. His name was Chris. And he was like the king of starting shit with everybody. Like, hey, like who touched my toothbrush, or like who like left all these dishes. Like he would start shit with everybody. And we're like, dude, you're Aries. You're the god of war. You start wars with everybody. Like perfect. And then my other friend, I had a couple other friends that lived there. Like we had like an Apollo, and like we had like a thing. But I was Dionysus, because like I always like started like I would always throw parties. Like we would just like, they are the ones who gave me that. I didn't give that name to myself. Someone else gave that to me. They said, dude, you're always like, you're the god of food and wine and fun. Like you always like get everybody together, and like that's Dionysus. Now the other part of it, the vicious part, that actually came from anime actually. So like, you know, like one of my favorite villains in anime is Vicious. You know, I believe that's Cowboy Bebop, I think something like that. But like anyways, like you know, he would like make people cry tears of scarlet, whatever, and he would like take his, it's a kind of a dorky thing, but Diovicious is kind of like what it started. It was like the Dio and the Vicious. And so, and you could pronounce it Diovicious, that doesn't matter. But sometimes people would like totally like, they're like, I don't know how to spell it, but it's really just, I'm going to come out with some merch probably that says Dio and then like a space and then Vicious, so people know how to
put a dash.
Yeah, put a little dash or a little star right there.
Oh man. So going off of your name,
yeah,
like when did you start I guess making music?
Well, it started like, it really did start in high school. And like I basically started, I know that shit was a long time ago. Back in high school, like I used to just write poetry, and it was funny because actually the first song that got me rapping was actually it was "Never Leave Me Alone," and it was a song with Nate Dogg and Snoop, and like there, when you buy CDs, which I don't know if anyone knows what CDs are still. But you know, CDs would be like they would sell singles, and like the singles would come with the instrumental. So like you buy like I would buy all the CD singles with instrumentals, like any type of like instrumental, and I just rap on those. You know, like try to make music to it. And that's basically how like the rapping thing started. Like I was like, damn dude, I love this beat. I was like, let me write something to this, and then I'd write a poem. You know, it'd be like sipping over some girl, or you know, maybe somebody like a teacher was mean to me or something, or you know, and it's pretty cool.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
Like who would you say is like some artists that you kind of base your style off of?
So that's hard because like I haven't really like shown the world everything that I can do, because I've kind of just kept it very simple, because I'm just trying to like really develop like song structures and things like that. But I have to say some of my like influences, like I am like the biggest Bone Thugs and Harmony fan. Like I used to have a group in middle school. It was called 3BF. It was Three Bone Fanatics, and like we used to like make Bone songs and like rap, and I would rap like Bone. Like I'd be like just spitting it
Spitting
like
fast.
Yeah, I'd be like you know, like, and I would sound like Busy too. Like 7 a.m. in the morning, becoming meaning green and nicotine. Like I would just do like now follow me now roastro. Yeah, like just hit all the little, you know, and like just I could imitate like every member, and so like we would just sing songs and stuff. And but I'd have to say a lot of the West Side movement, it was all like Ice Cube and West Side Connection, and definitely Bone Thugs. You know, that was like huge for me, and like Warren G, and like just everybody, Dr. Dre of course, and Snoop. Yeah. Like everything West Coasty like was really a big part of it. And like some people like listen to like East Coast, and I was getting into some of those people, but like I really loved like that West Coast. That was kind of my, I feel like it was my era. Like NWA definitely, even though I was kind of young when they came out, like I would sneak listen to their tapes and CDs. Yeah, I used to listen to tapes. It's freaking crazy. Two Live Crew, which is like the nastiest, you know, like that would be the nastiest at that time.
Fuck.
And I used to listen to that, and I don't know how I got the tapes. I think I bought them from someone at school. I'd play them, and I'd be like, "Hey, we want some," and I wouldn't say it because I don't know.
Well, it sounds like a lot just in general, like from all your influences. Do you remember when we first met?
I think,
because I know that you worked with Angel, right? Like I think is that how we met?
It might have been, because like so basically, like Angel. What was really really cool is that I met Angel a couple of times at some events and things, and Angel, like he's like really really he's such a good person to learn from. You know, like I reached out to him actually, and I think I met him a couple of other, like for a couple other things, but I reached out to him. I said, you know, like I really want to learn like how to like do podcasting, you know, like social media, definitely podcast managing, things like that. And you know, and at the time, like when things were a little bit more, when Desert Underground was in its infancy, like a lot younger, and when we were only doing like the first show or two, well, when he was putting that together, that's why I told him, like, dude, like I would love to help, you know, like I'm obviously you don't need to pay me or anything, I'm just learning, you know, like that's what I wanted to do is learn. So I learned from him and Brian, and shout out to, you know, Brian B. Filmy, shout out to Angel of course, and like everything that Alex does too behind the scenes, Angel's wife, like they do they just all work as a really big team, and so it's actually just really really cool to see it, you know, like just everything he does to organize and put these things together and like really create like a community for everybody to kind of like, you know, bounce off of, collab with. Like I've noticed, like definitely, like I've watched a lot of your podcasts too, where like when you talked about when Mills came on the scene, like it's true. Like when Mills came out, when other people, like he's a really friendly, amazing human being. Shout out to Mills. Like
shout out Mills.
Basically, he's like the glue that brings a lot of people together, especially like like people being friendly, because a lot of egos can come out of people like performing, like they think like they're the best, and they're like, oh, this guy can't rap, I can rap better than this guy. Like you see that a lot when there's not like a community. But now, like nowadays, I see everybody collabing with each other. You see people in other people's videos, like you know, you'll see so and so's video, and you're like, oh shit, they like I didn't know that they even knew each other. And like I think it's like one of the coolest things. But back to basically Angel, I just started helping him out, and then I was helping him produce some of the podcasts. He was showing me how to work the equipment, kind of like, you know, work the cameras and different things, because I have my own podcast that I'm trying to get better. And so that was one of the things that he really helped with. So I like everything that he's taught me has been invaluable. Like it's been amazing. Like it's been awesome, and I get to help out whenever I can. And you know, he's doing comedy shows. He's doing.
Yeah, I see that. This is
freaking
crazy.
Awesome.
I gotta go to one, man. I gotta go to one.
It's definitely awesome. Like honestly, like the comedy shows are amazing, because I used to. It's so funny thing. I used to work for Fantasy Springs Casino, and they had a seasonal improv there. Every winter or so, we would have a comedy club upstairs above the cash cage, and so that I used to basically kind of I don't want to say run it, but it was myself and a couple other people, and we all ran it together. And so one of us would sell the tickets, the other one would sit people down and reserve spots, and then we would like just sit people around, get the comedians ready, and then actually you know, Lieutenant and you know, the Death Merchants, and so DJ Lumps, their DJ, actually he was the engineer. And that's where I met him, actually. And he would be the one that would flash the light, like to let the comedian know, like if there was like 15 minutes left or so. And man, it was like so cool, because like you get to meet all these comedians. A lot of them are from TV and stuff. And like, and then sometimes you get to hang out with them afterwards. Like I smoked with a couple of them. Like after work, like we would just go to the restaurant, we'd eat, because they get these free vouchers. And they're like, dude, I'm not going to spend all these. You want to come with us? And my lady just happened to be with me, so we would just all have dinner, and then we'd go out in the parking lot, smoke. And it was just like fun. It was really, really fun. And so, yeah, comedy clubs. I'm glad he's kind of bringing that back, because I think they stopped the one that's at Fantasy.
Yeah, actually, I haven't seen too much like with like comedy in general, except for Angel stuff. But the homie Jax is actually putting it's like a rap show / comedy. Kind of similar to what Angel did. Yeah. And he's doing it at the Green Dragon in February.
That's dope. That's
so
really, really dope.
I think it's pretty sick.
That's
but
good.
Shout out to Angel, though, because like how you mentioned with the podcast, like how you learned stuff from him.
Yeah.
It's like when I first started my podcast, Angel opened his doors for me to use his spot. Yeah. And like I was working with Brian, and you know, like I don't forget that shit. You know, like I appreciate Angel 100%, because he didn't even have to do that, and he let me use it at like a very affordable price. Yeah. So it's like, I think Angel, he's a big part of the community too. I think he's a big like part of it, and the reason why it is the way it is now. Like it's more accepting, because I was around when like people were straight up just hating on each other. Yeah. You know. But now I'm glad that now it's like it's totally different, and it's for the better. I mean, like, we got comedy shows. Like, when was the last time you seen a local comedy show? Like, and they're bringing it back. They're bringing back hip-hop shows. They're bringing back a lot of stuff, because a lot of venues have closed their doors to hip-hop. Yeah, and so true. It sucks, but, you know, they're doing their thing, and I appreciate them.
Definitely. And to go back to your question, actually, is that's where I think I might have met you first, is actually maybe at a Desert Underground, because
I think so, right?
I feel like I definitely remember seeing you perform, and I've been to a lot of your performances, front row. You turn it up. Hell like yeah. It's freaking dope. I mean, like, I love it, because if you watch like some of the drone shots from your Desert Underground performances, you actually performed at the same show I did, number 7, I think it was. Yeah. And like that was like a dope ass show, and like, dude, it was fun sick, to be in the front.
It was
like,
so sick.
Yeah, it was really sick.
Like that was the first time actually my parents were there. That's not the first time they were there, but it was the first time they seen like me in front of a big crowd. Yeah. So that was cool. That was like That was a fucking vibe for sure.
It was, and like people were just like going hard, especially when they were trying to catch T-shirts and shit. Like everybody was going crazy.
I fucked up too. I got off the stage with one T-shirt. I didn't even throw it. I see it in the video. I'm like, yeah, I'm about to throw this shit, and I didn't even throw it. I just forgot to throw the T-shirt, bro. But for the future reference, everybody who's watching, if you ever go to a show and you see me hold a T-shirt, there's something in the T-shirt.
Yeah,
like a joint.
Oh yeah,
something. Like there's something in the T-shirt, so you might want to catch it. Just saying.
The person next to me, I think, got a T-shirt, and I was like, "What? What's inside of it?" and I think even at a 420 Bank show too, that was another one where
I like handing it out all random. Like I'll just be rapping and then just pass it out because it keeps people involved. You know,
totally. It keeps people engaged.
I don't smoke, so it's all good.
It's only really been maybe since the beginning of Desert Underground, I think. Because I remember when he did that first event where he invited a bunch of people and like everybody kind of came. It kind of kept it nice and intimate. You know, a lot of people showed up. Everybody, like, it was crazy. It was kind of like, I remember the feeling when I walked in there. Like,
you talking about the first Desert Underground?
Yeah, the first Desert Underground.
Dude, I was sick.
And I
couldn't even go.
And see, and I wish you would have.
So mad.
I wish you would have been able to make it because something was so organic about that first show because
dude, it was electric, bro. Watching the videos, like
it was definitely crazy. That, and also when you go in there, you look around and you're like, fuck, all these people that are here have something going on with like creativity or creators, like. They have podcasts. They're musicians. They're video people. They're photographers. They're artists. They're people that draw, and like we had all kinds of great, like so many people. If I looked around, I'm like, damn, there's so many artistic people here. It was insane, talented, artistic people, all kind of having a mixer. I remember before the first artist even went up, like everybody was talking and drinking and like mixing and like, oh, what do you do? Oh, what do you do? And like people were self-promoting, you know, wearing their hats and shirts and like I thought it was the coolest event. Like I was like, damn, this is gonna be something. I already could tell.
I knew it too. That's why I was so bummed out because I was like, I was supposed to be on it and I was like, fuck, I'm sick. And at the time, you know, you don't want to get everybody else sick.
Oh, of course.
So it was like COVID and shit.
Yeah, so that's the only thing.
It was one of those where I was like, nah, I'll be responsible. And I was pretty like sick, so I'm pretty sure I would have got somebody sick there. But just to see like how it all went, that shit was crazy.
Yeah,
it was so clean, like and everything.
And it was really cool to hear because before he did the event, I remember I either talked to Angel just a little bit before it, and he was telling me kind of his vision about it, and he was telling me like, dude, like the content that we're gonna get from each of these artists like performing, they get to put it on their social medias. It's like the most, he called it a content farm. And he said like everyone's like, just because everybody has pages, like every artist has pages trying to promote themselves, but now they have these like dope ass like drone shots and like pictures at night with the lighting and like the professional stage. And like he was telling me how his idea when he was watching like Brockhampton and like, you know, like he saw like the production and he was like, dude, like I could put any like Coachella Valley artist up here and make them look like killer with like the smoke and the lights and the and just the professional stage. And he was right. Like he was absolutely right. Dude,
like he's paving the way, bro. Like Angel is like next level when it comes to performances. Cause as far as like promoters and just like event like coordinators, dude, he went off. You know how many people tried and like it was just horrible and like failure, a bunch of people unhappy and like, and no shade, you know, you tried and shout out for you to trying, but Angel did it right, bro. Angel fucking killed it and he still kills it. That shit is still fire. It's like when I go to a Desert Underground, I know what's gonna happen. Like it's just gonna be fun.
Yeah, you know you're gonna see some good acts and
like some dope shit. That's why I want to make it to a comedy show, man. I gotta go.
It's dope, and it just keeps getting bigger. Like it started off like in his little room, and like it just keeps now it's at that other spot, and it's bigger. And I'm like, damn, dude, they're gonna be getting this thing. This thing's gonna you know, it's gonna be dope, and
it's gonna be big. It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, and like there's a lot of other places that try to do like open mics and comedy shows and things like that, and I've seen some flops on some stuff, and no shade either. Like I would not, if someone's trying, I think that's the biggest part is like trying to make things happen.
I think what I would call like a flop, just to clarify on my side, is like what I mean by no shade is like, because I've been to shows where the promoter lied. Yeah, they lied their ass off, and to me that's a fucking flop right there. That's a failure. Like, how you gonna lie, bro? You know what I mean? Like, you should never do that, because when it comes down to people in person and things change, that's all bad. Like, you never want to like lose a customer. You know what I'm saying? Right. That's what I mean by Angel. He knows what he's doing. Absolutely. Because like I've never talked to someone where they're like, oh, I didn't like Desert Underground. Yeah. Everybody loves that shit.
They do.
Everybody. Like, and that's what I mean by like he's killing it, because I've worked with so many promoters, bro. And like I said, no shade. It's not like I'm talking about them as a whole. Yeah, for sure. I'm just saying, like, the ones who be lying, those are the ones that are really like, man, you fucked up, because you should never have like done that in the first place. For sure. It's crazy.
Yeah, because you mean like people, you set expectations a lot of times, and people like expect it to be a certain way when they show up. Yeah. And like I've been to places, not going to be specific, but there's been places I've gone where like just the conditions were bad. There's no like toilet paper in the restrooms, like shit like that.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. Yeah,
yeah, and
like the normal things that you need. And I know some people are gonna trip on the bathroom, but it's facts. It's facts. Yeah. Dude, I don't want to go to the bathroom and there's shit on the wall. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
Like, let's be real. Like
someone wrote like red rum and like...
Yeah, like what the fuck? Like, that shit is crazy to me. Like, there's been some places, bro, where I'm like, what the fuck?
I know.
But where do you see yourself, like, musically? Like, do you have like goals set for 2024?
I have a lot of goals, actually. Like, definitely, and thank you for asking that question, because it puts my mind back in focus, on that. But yeah, I've actually been writing a lot of new things. I have like a little project that I'm working on, which I'm really excited about. Like, I'm just kind of structuring it, kind of getting it all nice and ready. A lot of people, when they come out with stuff out in the desert, they usually come out with like EPs and things like that. And I think my first thing that I put out will probably be like an EP, because that's kind of what I have written so far, like that I know like the songs front and back, and I could perform them if I needed to, and like it's just a short little 5-song EP or something like that. And that's the ones I'm ready for, like to get that chapter flipped to the next one.
I get you.
And then my next project actually is something I'm still working on while I'm trying to finish or get this one off started. So like I guess you could say my goal for this this year is to get in the studio, learn a little bit more about what it takes to kind of get your music out there, because I don't really have a lot of guidance with it. It's just my friends that do music kind of show me things and stuff like that. But or if I work with them and they kind of show me the ropes a little bit, I might be able to get some music out, and then finally, maybe get to work on the bigger project that I really want to work on.
Hell yeah.
Because I have really nothing. Like, I'd like to get something out so that when I do shows, I could be like, visit my Instagram at blah blah blah, or like you go like, I'm streaming live on music, on Apple Music, Spotify, like just be able to kind of throw that all out there. But I have to put music out first, and that's why it's hard to like. A lot of times people don't quite know me quite yet, so like that's just one of those things. And I know I'm not getting any younger, so I got to just keep on working on it, because that's my dream. I'm not going to give up on my dream for being, an older rapper in the Coachella Valley.
That's dope, man. Yeah, just keep going. Like even like the big homies, as in like just people I met along the way, and they're already like well established, and this is their job. The biggest thing they told me was like, like look at because I remember some dude, we're at like a kind of like a meeting,
Yeah.
And some dude was like, oh, you know, I don't like to post on social media, or I don't like to do stuff. And they basically said, well, it's up to you, you know, like this music shit is like your job. And if you don't show up to your job, like, you already know what happens.
Yeah.
So like it's kind of like, you know, clock out of like the normal thing that's paying the bills, and then clock in to what you got going on, you know. It's like it is tough sometimes though, because like, you know, things come up, or you have two jobs, or, you know, like people have their lives.
Yeah.
And it is tough. But I remember that stuck to me when he told us that. He was like, yeah, dude, like, would you not clock in for yourself? Like, would you not? He's like, maybe this isn't for you. And I remember that was a big reality check for me, because I was like, damn, like, that's some real shit right there, you know?
Yeah.
And I was thinking about that too, for me at the time, because then you think about how old they are and where they're at. But I think it's also like, just try not to compare, you know? It's kind of like what Jack said. The homie Jack basically said, like, he compared it to like horses racing.
Yeah.
But we're not actually racing. There's really no like comparison or competition. Like, everyone, instead of racing, we should all run together at this, like, to the same destination.
Yeah.
And I really like that. I like the way he put it together. Like, I probably butchered it right now, but the way he said it was fire. Like, the way he said it was like so clean, and it makes sense, you know. However you find success is really the way you define it, you know.
It definitely, yeah. I agree exactly with what you're saying and with what Jack said. I guess like our art, like when we start like creating our art, you know, we want to be able to put out our art and have people receive it or relate. Like, we want people to feel stuff, you know, like I just want to write stuff to where people can kind of picture themselves, you know, maybe in a situation and kind of relate to it. And that's why I'm really excited about more of this music to come out, because the stuff that I have so far has been more just like the beginning of everything. Like, one thing I like to do with my performances that I don't really use a vocal track. A lot of times, like when I do performances, I usually just do the beat and then I go over it. Nice. And I usually just, so people know that it's me and stuff. But I can, like, I know there's going to be songs that are going to be difficult that I'll probably need a vocal track for. But and then just watching like people like you, for example, like watching you perform is like, it's really like, I like watching everybody perform, because I like the way, like, that's another part that I want to grow in, is being able to, the showmanship, that like the stage like presence. Yeah, like it's big, like it's really important. And then when I see you perform, you're definitely, I have to give you props. You're one of the people that anytime I see video of your performances, it's lit. You know what I mean? Like, always. And like, same thing, like, you know, when Mills performs, like, he knows how to like grab the crowd. He's very good with his like improvisation. Like, every show's different, even though he sings, you know, like before, when he's only had that one album out. I know future Jesus Chain's coming out. I'm excited about that. Yeah. But like Mills's album, he'll sing those songs and he'll switch up the set lists. But still, he makes it different every time. Sometimes he does different dance moves. Sometimes he makes different jokes in between the songs that relate to the songs. And I'm like, damn, dude, like, he just like eats up this audience. Like, this audience loves him. Yeah. You know?
I kind of feel like Mills could do comedy.
He could.
I think he could, honestly.
Mills could do comedy. He has some really random ass posts, and like, I'm like, damn, dude, that shit's hilarious. Like, what the fuck?
I feel like he could successfully transfer over to comedy.
He could. He could do a transition album from rap. He could rap and comedy. Oh, yeah. Like I'm actually would like to see more skits on his albums, because he'd be hilarious. And definitely another thing too I thought about too is like writing like jingles, because we all do music and stuff. You hear all these like businesses out here doing like heating and air conditioning. Like, we could make like jingles.
Yo, actually, yeah, that is like a route for sure.
Yeah, like just making like little jingles for all these businesses. You can actually get
paid for that shit.
Yeah. Like, you know how like Andre Benjamin 3000, you know, Andre 3000. Yeah. Like, so he like plays the, you know, the mask off. You know, like, that's, you know, future whatever. Yeah. So the flute in the background is Andre 3000.
Oh fuck! I didn't even know that either.
And if you go in they will confirm it. Like you just have to look up, like Future confirmed it, and like it's because he was just messing around with instruments at the time, and so they recorded him.
Damn.
So it's like
and
crazy.
Now it's like a banger.
It is a banger, and that's like, damn, dude.
Yeah, man. Thanks for hopping on the GreenSkull podcast.
Yeah, thank you for having me, for sure.
We jumped in.
Hopefully we'll have like a follow-up a year from now. I'll have music out. I'll got merch. I'll go crazy.
Sooner.
Yeah. Or sooner. Yeah.
Peace out, everybody.
You're listening to the GreenSkull podcast.
A podcast for Fife fans, music artists, and creatives alike.